Hello, and welcome to Down the Rabbit Hole. Today, we're going to be talking about an urban legend that happened right here in Tennessee. If you're new here, hit that like button and that bell for notifications. Please subscribe, help a girl out. I can really use the subscribers. I have a merch shop where you can go get your merch items. But anyway, as most of you know, I love a good folklore. I love a good urban legend and myth. I also love history. And being Alabama born and raised, I enjoy learning about different areas in Tennessee. And I love just learning in general. I believe that learning is essential because the minute you allow yourself to stop learning is the minute you let ignorance set in. Somebody's gonna argue me down and try to cancel me over that, but I don't really care. Anyway, I'm like a black cat. Have you seen I'm like a black cat when it comes to like certain things. Really? Some things it's like it's not even worth to fight about. But anyway, today we're going to be talking about a folklore, an urban legend that's in Cookeville, Tennessee called the Crazy George Bridge. And this happens to be like a few months out from Halloween, and technically this is Halloween for me. I love Halloween. If you look around my room, you'll see a bunch of skulls, and I love skulls. I love skeletons and stuff like that. And once when I had my car, I used to have I had a skeleton that lived there. I named him Bob. Yeah. But anyway, so with Halloween drawing upon us in a few short months, couldn't get here fast enough if you ask me. I figure why not talk about a spooky tale that's not far from here from me at all. I do. So for those of you who don't know, I live in the Nashville area. That's all. I'm not going to go into the exact name city. But if you go on my channel, you could probably figure out where I live. But anyway, I do want to give a disclaimer. This story is not for the faint of heart, or if you're a young child watching this, go ahead, switch it off, find you something child appropriate that won't give you nightmares. Anyway, this is a mysterious death of a railroad ghost. It could be a murder. Well, there are often whispers and sentiments when locals discuss Crazy George Bridge. Now, here's something that we need to consider and remember. No George ever existed. Now, the main characters of this story was actually named Norman, and his demise was not paranormal. It was just terrorizing as many spook tales. Now, I know you want to hear it. Isn't that why you clicked on this episode after all? But let's start off, shall we? Well, after leaving the pie supper at Woodcliff Baptist Church on Saturday night in the spring of 1931, Nairman walked, and some might say he stumbled, toward his home in the valley. Now, during his trek, he stopped at a watchtower station of a small bridge underneath which the railroad quietly snaked before his tracks disappeared into the hills beyond. Now, it was while he was there that he spent the night. Ugh, instead of walking the treacherous railroad bed, which he offered a shortcut to his family. Now, being engaged and wed in just 1 week, he declined the offer. Instead, he continued to travel, ensuring that he made it to breakfast the next morning, and he will be the one of it will be one of his home cooked meals from his mom for his foreseeable future. Now, the breakfast table was indeed set following morning, but his chair was empty. And his mom, and if you might have guessed from there, the tale leaves the happy world of his mama's meals and pie suppers. So, you see, their sun came up in the usual morning darkness fell over in the valley in the early hours of the spring, and some watchmen the night before began a daily check of the tracks, and after a short walk they were surprised to find the hat. Then, guess who they found? Nairman. Now, while there's not a lot of details to really share right now, you would find sleep. You will find some sleep tonight. Maybe, depending on me. I have insomnia, but this is gonna be one of those difficult names to sleep. Now, if you're like me, who can watch a horror movie and you can fall asleep to a true crime documentary, this is nothing for you. But this was a horrifying scene. Let's go ahead and get that now. They were terrified and distraught, and the watchmen burst into the same church just hours before the hosted Mary Pie supper to interrupt the service with the news of the tragedy. His betrothed happened to be in attendance, and upon hearing of his fate, she stood fainted, reminiscent, and sweltered like a sudden belle from early Hollywood. However, her dismay seems to have been very short lived as she will read someone else a few weeks later. Here's what you're thinking. This has to be a murder, right? It sounds like she already has someone on the side, so this was just her way of getting rid of him. But anyway, the quick marriage did really cause the rumors to spread. Naturally, right? And legends would be born. And over time, the crazy George Bridge came to life. To the next, to this day, it is said to have that on certain nights, a headless traveler is seen carrying a lamp along the tracks, while which ran beneath the bridge. Whether this is scorned, murdered, or an angry ghost of orbit, a work of fiction, or another nameless gal haunting the hills, we caution you. Don't stay alone at Crazy George's Bridge. Now, would you go visit this place? Is it true? If you're from the Cookeville area, I'm very curious. Like, do you have any information on this? Like, was there anything that I left out? But anyway, that is it for this episode. I know it's been short, but next episode I think it's gonna be a little bit longer. It's gonna be on Empress Sissy, and then we're gonna go to Sally Carter's grave. And then the Battle of Horseshoe Bend, which I'm gonna do my best to be as unbiased as possible against Andrew Jackson. I really hate that guy, honestly. Oh, you can judge me all you want, but anyway. Then we're gonna talk about the Grimaldi curse and the Habsburg curse. Like I said, this is down the rabbit hole. We talk about a variety of topics, so please subscribe, help a girl out. But anyway, I will see y'all next time. Y'all try and stay warm out there. Cool out there. I know how hot it is out there, so please stay inside as much as you can. Also, you can't see, but I'm getting a bit of sunburn from the sun. I love it. But I'll see y'all next time.